So we discussed about how to work with dictionaries in the last class. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a quick recap of what is dictionaries and how to work with dictionaries and everything, so that you will also have some idea what is going on. So can somebody quickly tell me what is dictionaries? What are dictionaries? What pair? Sorry. Yeah. So I so generally how data is stored is maybe we'll create a list. Okay, person one is equal to what happened? Why it will be more irritating for you actually. So that's why it's very less people. So the classroom is full. We'll use mic actually. Whatever works. Anyway, so what I was telling you is I have person once I want to store person once data. So what happens here is when you want to store person once data, let's say Erling, okay, three. Okay, this is a player we are talking about. Okay, so his name is Erling Haaland. Okay, I'm writing some numbers here. Okay, 23 can be jersey number, 21 can be his age, or the vice versa can also be true. Okay, I don't know what it is. It's just some data. Erling is his name, or is his team's name, or is his first name or last name. No specific data is actually there. I just have some data here, but I don't have any description of that particular data. Okay. So that is why there is a specific data structure called as dictionaries. There is specific data structure called as dictionaries. Okay, so what is dictionaries is what you will see, we'll create the same variable called as person one. Variable is nothing but a temporary storage location. It's like a box where you can store some data in whichever structure you want. This is one structure. Like that, similarly the dictionaries are also a structure. Okay, so how will we create dictionaries is using curly braces. Inside here we use the square brackets, right? Here we will be using curly braces. Okay? Inside curly braces, the data will be stored in the form of key value pairs. Pair of keys and values. Keys is the data's description. Let's say first name. That first name should be stored in single quotes. Okay. And then I will say first name is Arvind. Okay. I will put comma. Okay. And then I'm clicking enter. You can see the cursor is automatically coming to the same line. Vertical lines, we have a lot of vertical lines. Okay? Person one is in one alignment, equal to is in one alignment. You can see that the dictionary is starting in one alignment. Right? And inside the first name is coming in one alignment. Okay. So same like that, I can have last name. Okay, last name will be last name colon columns. Last name Colin Haaland. Okay, like that. I have his jersey number as, so jersey number is integer, right? So you can directly give it as 23, and you can say age. That is also, let's say, 21. So now the day same data only, whatever we stored there, same data only we have here, but it is more detailed. Something it is more informative also. Okay, so we will be if you want your data to be stored like this, then you will use something called as a dictionary. Okay, so what are the properties of dictionaries we discussed? She said key value pairs. Other than that, dictionaries are unordered collection of, they are unordered collection of data. Okay, lists, tuples, and strings, they are ordered collection of data. Why? Because they have, if I say this is index is 0, index of this is 1, index of this is 2, index of this is 3, like that, it is having some special number. Using that number you can retrieve that particular element. If I say person 1 of 0, then I'll get early. Person 1 of -1, then I'll get 21. Like that, it is having its own index. Using the index you can retrieve values in lists, tuples, or strings. But in this case of dictionaries, it is unordered collection of data, so that is not possible. So what you need to do is you need to call values using its key, using its key. Okay. If you give the key, it will give you the value. Simple as that. Okay. So if I want to, okay, so you have to call values using its particular key. For example, so I will take person one. Person one is the name of the dictionary. Okay. So if I want to see the person one's jersey number, so what I will do, I will say person one, square brackets. Inside square brackets, I will give single quotes, and inside single quotes, I will say jersey. Okay. So if I use the key name, I will get the value. Simple as that. Till now, is it clear? Yeah. What is one more property of dictionaries? Same, sorry, keys are immutable. Okay. And what is mutable? Values are mutable. That is, once you store the data, values whichever we are storing, right, that can be changed. In the future, if you want, we can change. But keys are there, right? First name, last name, that cannot be changed. Clear? Anything else? Something more important? Keys are unique. Keys are unique. Unique means once I have first name and I store a link in that. Okay. Now, if I want, what's your first name? Sorry? Trisha, right? So if I want to store Trisha's data, I can't create another key value pair called first name. Why? Because I'll tell you why. How will you add one extra key name? Anybody knows? This is a four, I already have 4 key names. Okay. I want to add another key name. How will I do that? So I'll say person one. Okay. Inside brackets, you will mention the new key name that you want to enter is equal to some value. Is equal to some value. So this time I will store her name as, let's say, Trisha, right? But as I told you already, first name is created. Again, we cannot create first name, but I want to store multiple. I want to store all your data inside one dictionary. But first name only for one first name I'm able to create. So what happens is if I execute this, now you can see instead of Erling, that first name got updated to Trisha. Got updated to Trisha. That is the reason why they are saying that keys are unique. If you try to create another key name with the same key name, it will update it instead of inserting it. I want to insert, right? So if I want, what I can do is I can say person one address. Person one address. Let's say she's from Hyderabad, right? So this address key name is not available in the dictionary. So what it will do, it will add a new key value pair, address and Amirpet, like that. Okay, so you can see address Amirpet is added. But same again, I'm trying to add address. What it will do, let's say one more. What my intention is to add one more address, and then I want to say Amirpet or something. In Hyderabad, let's say she's residing in this. So what it will do is it will now, instead of creating a new key value pair called address, what it will do, it will update the existing one. That is the reason why we need to. So it is not creating a new address. What it is doing is just updating the value. So this is how you will be updating your values of already existing key value pairs. So what is the solution? How can I come out of this issue? How can I, create everybody's? I want to store everybody's data in one variable itself. Let's say I want to create level up 5 a.m. batch storage, something like that. So I want to create a variable like that, and inside that I want to store all the people. So as I told you, in one dictionary only you cannot have same key names. But in different dictionaries we can create, and in different dictionaries we can have the same key names. Okay, how we are going to do that is using this concept called as nested dictionaries. Using this concept called as nested dictionaries. That is, inside one dictionary, you will be creating more dictionaries. A dictionary inside another dictionary. That is why it is called as a nested dictionary. Okay? So for this, that indentation is very important. Okay? What do I mean by indentation is this line I'm talking about. Okay? So the variable that I created should be on the first indentation line. Okay. So can you see this vertical line? Up to down, you can see a line, right? That is the alignment of your code. Okay, this variable that you're creating should always be on the first indentation. Okay, and then the equal to symbol on one indentation. This bracket is available in one line, but here is where your data is actually starting. So how many ever data that you are writing, all the key names are coming on the same line. You can see all the, so this is in one alignment, this is in a different alignment. Okay. So this alignment is very important. You will see the importance of that alignment in this example that we are going to do right now. Okay. So I want to write students. Just go, let's say 11. Creating a variable like this is equal to, I'm creating dictionary. In this dictionary, okay, I want to create one key value pair. The key value pair is, let's say, student, the score, the student one or something. As I told you, key value pairs are there, right? Keys can be either strings or tuples. Okay, so let me keep it as strings, because she told me that line, right, where keys are immutable. Okay, there are two data structures that are immutable. One is strings. Once you create a string, you cannot change it. Same like that for tuples. Once you create a tuple, you cannot change the elements inside that. So it is called as immutable. As I told you, keys are also immutable, right? So keys either has to be strings or tuples. It cannot be a list or another dictionary. Dictionaries are totally immutable. The key value pairs I'm talking about. Okay. So student one I wrote. Okay. If I take student one as Trisha, and then what's your good name? Gayatri, right? So I want to store her name also. So everybody I should be storing inside key value pair called as first name. Okay. So what I will do, I'll create another inner dictionary. To create another dictionary. So I'm considering her as student one. So what I'll do, first name, last name, all her details, I will be storing it inside this key value pair. I'll create another key value pair called student two. In that student two, I'll create a separate dictionary. So your dictionary and your dictionary will not be the same. It will be two different dictionaries. So I can create one first name for her, one first name for her. That is my idea. Okay. So what I will do, you can see that the outer dictionary is of yellow color. That is the primary dictionary, the parent dictionary. The inner dictionary is of violet. So what I will do, I'll say first underscore, okay, first underscore name. Let's say this is also string, so I'm gonna say okay. And let's say she has joined for, you have joined for Python course, I believe. So you can say Python stack. Okay. And what else we can store? Any other data we can store? Let's say city, where which city she is from. I don't want to store address details. Um, it's, we can take her email address, phone number, all these details you can store about one person. Okay, so let's say email will be Gmail.com. Okay, you can see that very clearly that this key value pair. Okay, it is in one alignment. Okay. All of this is stored inside student one. So it is in a different alignment. So when it is in different alignment, that means whatever is on the right side belongs to this student one. Same like that, this is a variable. On the right side, what do we have? This big dictionary we have, right? That belongs to, that means this entire thing is stored into this one. Same like that, this entire thing is stored into this one. Clear? Understood? So email, and what else we can store? Contact details, other contact details. So let's say phone number. Okay. Phone number is an integer value. Phone number is a integer value. Don't give single quotes for that. Okay. So you can say um, something like this. Okay. You can also give her one roll number for her. Okay. Even if it is changing, it is your duty to make sure that you put it in the correct alignment, or else Python will give you a indentation error. Yeah. So I'm going to say roll number. This is roll number is, and then you have to put comma. Yeah. So these are the details I want to store, but I want to store her address also. I want to store her address also. Her address is, let's say, everybody's addresses are very big. It has street detail, first house details, street details, then area, state, country. So many things are there. Pin code is also there. Okay. So what I want to do is I will say address, but I want to store it in a more organized way. So what I will do is create another dictionary. Create another dictionary in address key name. I will store an entire dictionary. So what I will do, this will be address, or let's say area. Okay, the area is Madhapur. For example, I'm taking comma state, or let's say city. City. Okay. Now country. Let's say state. Okay. Finally, I'll have pin code. Right. Pin code is an integer value, so we can say 5045. Yeah. So this is my primary dictionary. Inside there, we have a key value pair called student one. Inside student one, I have a lot of key value pairs like roll number, first name, course, email, phone number, address, all of these things. Address, I have many details to store. So what I'm doing for address, I'm storing another key value pair. Okay, so it is having area, Madhapur, city, Hyderabad, state, Telangana, and pin code as 5045. Now I'm done with address. Now I'm done with address. You can see that all the address are available on a different alignment, completely different alignment. Now I have to go back to this alignment. So what I will do, I'll put on comma. If I put comma before the brackets, then what it will do, it will go to this alignment. That means I want to create one more parameter for address. But actually I'm done with address. So what will I do? Here I will not put comma. I'll close the brackets. After the brackets, I'll put comma. So if I put brackets after the comma, that means that key value pair called address is completed. Now it will go to this alignment. Can you see? Automatically, Python is taking you to that alignment. So if you follow the syntax properly, it will automatically take you to that alignment. In case if it is not automatically taking also, you have to make sure that you start in that particular alignment. Okay. So we can write address. One more thing we can add about her, let's say fees, paid, something like this. Let's say she's paid this much. Yeah. So all the details about student one is done. All the details about student one is done. So instead of putting comma here, I should remove it and I'll put comma after the violet brackets because here is only our data starting. It is ending here. Okay, now student one is completed. I want to store details of student two. So what I will do after comma, I'll enter here. So now you can see automatically it is coming to the same alignment of student. Can you see? We should maintain this alignment. This is what is called as indentation. This is what is called as indentation. So I can create student two. Okay, I'll create again brackets. So for this dictionary only, I have created first name and last name. Okay, but for student two, I'm creating another dictionary. Here again, I can use first name and last name. It will not be a problem. Yeah, because it's not the same dictionary. It's part of different dictionaries. So what I will do, I'll create first name. Okay, her course. It is not mandatory that whatever columns you used, you have to use it here. No, if I don't want to use any of the columns, I don't care about email ID. I will take only phone number and address. Okay, so you can just write all that here also. Okay, a little bit changes we can do to phone number. Okay, let's say her area is Kukatpalli, Hyderabad, Telangana, and let's say 75 or something. I'm just changing the data. Okay. That's it. If I don't want to store her fees details or I don't want to store her email, I'll say I don't know her email ID. So just don't add it. That's all. Yeah. And now I feel like I'm done. I only two students I want. If I want to add more, what do I have to do? I have to put comma here and then enter. Here it will become student three. Like that, student three, student four, like that. You can keep creating. Yeah, right now I don't want. I want only to work with two students. So click and execute automatically. Now, how will you print it? Students. The print function you can use print student underscore level up. That is the variable. Right? If you print that variable, you can see a full you can see a full dictionary here. Yeah. So basically, this is our dictionary. Yeah. So you can use key value pairs to withdraw any record. Okay. So I'm going to ask some questions. Let's say, for example, I want to see only student one data. So what we need to do? I want to work with only student one data. So I will tell you what it is. So this is a key value pair. This is the key. This entire thing is the value. Okay. So can I use this key to retrieve all this? Yes. So how can I do that? So what is the name of the variable? Students underscore level up square brackets inside single quotes. If you click on inside single quotes, it will suggest you student one and student two. So click on student one. If I execute it, you can see all the details of student one. Now in student one, I want to see student one's name. What should I do? So this is also a dictionary only, no? Inside this also we have key value pairs only, no? So what you will do? Put another square brackets here. Here you will say first. Yes, I can also see any data that I want. I can also say uh, email. I can get her email, and I can also get her clear. Got it? And now I want to see only her pin code. So put square brackets, put single quotes. Clear? Using key names, you are retrieving values. Any doubts till now? Anybody? It's a dictionary, no? So what is happening is, for lists, if you create a list, right, A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, if you're printing A, you will get the square brackets. Same like that, if you say A is equal to hello, you're getting it with the single quotes, right? So that is the differentiating factor between different data types. If it is having single quotes, then it is a string. Okay, let's say 1, 2, 3. What is this? Integer. 123.20 means float. The decimal part, or the single quote. So same thing if I put it in single quotes, string. So the brackets or single quotes or curly braces, whichever you are using, that is the identity of that particular data type. Okay, that is the differentiating point between different data types that we have. Right. So that has to be there. Yeah. Values are also immutable. No, values are not immutable. Like we saw in the first class, in the previous session, it's not immutable. Okay. So can we make some changes to the data? We already have data. So since she's asking question, let's prove her, that values are mutable, right? So I have fees paid is 20,000. Okay. Let's say she paid little 10,000 extra. Okay. So I want to increase that fees paid by 10,000 more. How to change that to 30? Changing it to 30,000 is different from adding 10,000 to the existing value. Final output will be the same, but the process is different, right? So let's do both. What we will do is update it to, there are two things, updating and appending. Appending is changing. Updating is, okay, appending is, let's say we are performing some kind of a mathematical operation to it. Uh, let's change it to 30,000. How do we change it to 30,000? Students level up. Okay. Inside that key value pair will be student one. And if I want to see that person's fees, what will I do? Inside that, I will say fees paid. So I will write that in code. So let's say student one. Okay, for student one, what do I want to see? Fees. You have to give the correct key value pair. So let me check what is the key value pair I have given. I give fees space paid. Okay, so I'll give space also. Okay. So this will actually give me 20,000. That if I want to change it to 30,000, you have to say equal to 30,000. Simple as that. Equal to, it will be updated to, so if you check, it has been updated to 30,000. So keys are immutable, while values are immutable. Yeah. Okay. Uh, I want to add 10,000 to this 30,000. I want to add 10,000 to this 30,000. How can I do that? Students level up. How will I retrieve fees paid? Uh, Single quotes, fees paid. This will give me how much? 30,000. So if I print this, I'll get 30,000. Now I will say 30,000 plus 10,000. What it will be? 30. This will give me 30,000 plus 10,000, which is 40,000. But if I'm printing students level up, your fees is still 30,000. The fees is still 30,000. Why? I added 10,000 to this, but it is not reflecting in my dictionary. Here in my output, I'm getting it as 40,000, but it is not reflecting in my dictionary. Why? Because I did not save the changes that I made. I did not save the changes that I made. So I need to say, I need to add 10,000 and I need to save it somewhere. Where should I save it? Inside students level up, inside student one, inside fees paid, I need to update that value to 40,000. So same thing I will copy. I'll copy this is equal to, this is the location. Before equal to whatever I'm writing, it's the location. I'm saying in this place, I want to store some value. What value you want to store? 30,000 plus 10,000. What is 30,000? This is the value. After equal to whatever I'm putting, that is the value plus this is giving me how much? 30,000 plus 10,000, 40,000. I'm storing it back to fees paid. I'm storing it back to fees paid. In this step, I did not do that. I'm just calculating what is 30,000 plus 10,000. It is giving me the result. It is forgetting about it. But what I'm doing is I am adding 10,000 to this 30,000 and then I'm storing it in the same place. Storing it in the same place. So if I execute it, from now on, if I write students underscore level up, here I will write student one, here I'll write fees paid, will always be 40. Clear? Understood? So in this particular look, or is there any alternative that we can do instead of writing it two times? What is the alternative we can do? Here, you want to put this where? Here. You. That's a good question. Okay. So she's saying student students underscore level up. Inside that fees paid plus 10,000. That's what you're saying. Okay. So did I make a mistake here? Let me copy this. So you this fees paid is not available directly on students level up. It is available in student one, and inside that, so I have to write student one. Can anybody tell me why this will not work? She had a good question, but why this can't work? Because when I say students underscore level up student one, this entire data will be selected. Instead of this data, what will be stored? 40,000 will be stored. It will remove this entire thing and it will store it as 40,000 like this. That's what you were saying. You understood? So in the place of student one, you are saying 30,000 plus 10,000. That is 40,000. It got stored in that place. That is not how we want. We don't want 40,000 to be stored inside student one. Inside student one, we have one key value pair called fees paid. In that place only 30,000 plus 10,000 should be calculated. Clear? That is why I wrote the location. So inside students level up, inside student one, inside fees paid. What I want to do, I want to take this 30,000 because this is also returning 30,000 only. Okay. Plus 10,000 will calculate 40,000. The calculation is 40,000. It will be placed in this particular spot. Exactly. Clear? Understood? Is there a shortcut? You guys know. Exactly. We will use something called as plus equal to. This statement, whatever we have written, is the same as this plus equal to 10. Instead of writing this two times, what you will do is you will do the addition and or equal to operator. You will combine that together and you will write plus equal to. This operator is called as addition and assignment operator. Addition and assignment operator. This and this is the exact same thing. If you want to subtract, then what you will do, you write minus equal to. Okay. If you want to divide, then divide equal to. If you want to multiply, then multiply equal to. But you are what you're doing is you are combining a normal arithmetic mathematical operator along with the assignment operator, so that instead of writing that thing two times, you are writing it as one. So for example, in case if you guys forgot, I'll write like this: a is equal to 100. Okay, if I say a plus 100, what will I get? 200. But if I print a, I'm getting 100 only. So what you need to do, you need to say a is equal to a plus 100. You're doing a plus 100, that is 100 plus 100, and you're storing it back to a. This is called as reassigning the value, right? So here I'm writing, now if I print a, you can see 200 was stored permanently. So here what we are doing, a is equal to a plus 100. Two times you are writing a. So instead of that, you can say a plus equal to 100. So it will be permanently changing that to 300. Same thing I have done here. Instead of writing a is equal to a plus 100. So this entire thing is equal to this entire thing plus 10,000. What I did is this plus equal to 10,000. Same like this, I wrote it here. Clear? Understood? Online people, is that clear? Any doubts? Now, anything you know how to access that, right? So can you tell me how to access so they will just give you the dictionary like this. Suddenly they will say, give me a Gayatri's pin code, or give me all the data science students pin code. Like that they can give you any question. Okay. So we have only one data science student here. So what you need to do, you have to say that dictionary student to address. Inside address we have pin code. So we have to write the entire statement. And here, understood? This is what is called as nested dictionary. So writing a dictionary inside another dictionary. Yeah. There are some methods for dictionary also that I can't show it to you now because it requires a little bit knowledge about for loop. Okay. So what we will do is, yeah, it's no big deal. There are only three functions. Yeah, three methods that for available for dictionaries. The student, the school. Okay. So there are some methods that are associated. Methods means functions. Okay. So if I say dot keys, there is a method called dot keys. What it will do, it will show all the keys that are available. What are the keys that are available? Student one and student two. Or let's say here, student one, level of student one dot keys. Then in student one, what are all the keys are there? Roll number, first name, course, key names. Keys will give you only the key names. Okay. If I give student two, then two columns will not be there. What are the columns? Fees paid and her email ID column will not be there. Okay. So it is having only these. Inside address, some more are there. Okay. So if I want to see her address, dot keys. Sorry, I made a mistake here. ADDRESS. So now you can see area, city, state, pin code. Keys is a method that will return only the keys inside a dictionary. Okay, if you want to see values, what you need to do? Copy this, paste it instead of keys, right? Okay. So in that address, what all values are there, everything will show. Or if you want all the details of student two, then student two dot values, Gayatri, data science, all these things. And if you want to talk about student one, then dictionary will be there. If you don't give anything inside also, and if you want to see the all the value section of all this entire dictionary, you can see first name and all the details of Trisha and clear. Understood? These are the two methods that are available. Okay, and there is one more method called as items. Okay, so student underscore level up. I don't want to show items in such a big dictionary. So what I will do, I'll create a very small dictionary. Okay, so I'm going to say D is equal to uh, first name. right? So this is a dictionary. Okay, for this dictionary, I want to create d dot items. There is one method called as d dot items. Items, what it will do is it will convert all the key value pairs in the form of a tuple. In the form of a tuple. Okay. So it will become first name, comma, Manish. That will be one tuple. The next tuple will be last name, comma, SR. So you can see that it will convert into, can you see? A list of tuples. A major list will be there. Inside that, every element will be a tuple. So for key name, comma, value. Key name, comma, value. In that order, it will convert everything to key value pairs and sorry, it will convert every key value pair into a tuple and it will show. That is that method called as items. Okay, where we will be using this dot items, we will learn after we learn for loop. Clear? Okay. Any doubts?